close to the 20. And that's where Georgia will start this possession. Last week we asked you who you thought was college football's greatest defensive lineman of all time. These nominees: Leroy Selman, Bubba Smith, Ross Browner, Hugh Green, and Randy White. Now the results of the CBS Sportsline all-time great poll. Bubba Smith the winner.
I played against Bubba Smith in the 1966 Rose Bowl. I was at UCLA. Bubba Smith was at Michigan State. They were the national they were #1 in the country. Came in. The Bruins upset him 14-12 in that game. And
how'd you do?
Well, I didn't play against Bubba right over. He was playing defense, and so was I. Thank goodness.
Robert Edwards running to the short side of the field. Gets a couple out to the 22. Mike Harris and Javon Kearse made the tackle.
The matchup of Bubba Smith and myself, Sean, would be a bad matchup for the Bruins. Trust me. Trust me.
Well, Georgia came in to today's game with 5 turnovers, fewest in the nation. They've turned it over 3 times today, all on interceptions thrown by Bobo.
Well, if that continues, Jim Donnan may go to Hines Ward and go with more of an option package and try to just run the ball and play defense and hang in there if the turnovers continue.
This has helped the Bulldog cause that Johnson thrown 2 INTs. Bobo going deep, single coverage out there. Corey Allen has it. And he is thrown down by Fred Weary at the 19. That was a terrific throw by Bobo to Allen, who had to step on Weary.
Well, Mike Bobo must have hurt us. You talk about the fade route. Corey Allen lines up, gives himself plenty of room from the sideline so he can go outside. You don't see Fred Weary, number 24 from Florida, get beat very often, but it is a tremendous throw by Mike Bobo. He put air underneath the ball, and Allen ran underneath it for the huge play.
59-yard gain. Back to the run with Edwards running right. He cuts inside through a big hole. Edwards inside the 5 with a first down at the 2.
Chris Terry, number 7, the right tackle of Georgia, made a great block. Georgia is attacking Florida to the open inside, not to the tight inside, but to the open inside with a sweep, which is unusual. It's hurt the Florida defense.
No play. The officials blowing the whistle before the snap. There was a Gator running to get off the field. Elijah Williams very late, racing to the sideline, and Florida had to use a timeout. First and goal from the 3 for Georgia when we come back. Georgia fans making the noise in Jacksonville at the moment. The Dogs lead by 4, and they have it first and goal at the 3-yard line. We're live at Alltel Stadium, formerly the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville. Georgia looking for its first win over Florida since 1989. Its first win against a top 10 opponent since 1991. Trying to prove that the Georgia program is back and for real, and a win today would accomplish that. They're 6-1, but they really don't have a win you could hang your hat on. Quickly to the line. Bobo brings the Bulldogs. Edwards following Selma Callaway, and he's stacked up at the 2. Perhaps just inside the 2. Javon Kearse and Fred Weary made the tackle.
Boy, it looked initially like this play was going to get into the end zone. They had the ball in Robert Edwards' hand. He's a great back, but 42, Javon Kearse, he, along with Fred Weary, who ran across the screen, 24, they come up and make a picture-perfect team tackle there for the no gain.
Georgia has done well in the red zone, scoring touchdowns 48% of the time. Actually, they haven't done as well. The national average is higher than their average. And they're taking a long time in the huddle here. The officials now winding the clock.
Georgia players were asking the crowd in that end of the end zone to be quiet so they could hear the snap count. Those are Georgia fans. You got to be able to hear.
Edwards again, up and over. That's a tough play to run from the 2. That requires a long leap. And Edwards didn't get there. He got a yard to the 1, so they picked up 1 yard on each of the first 2 plays since the first and goal at the 3.
Reggie McGrew, 92, gets great penetration. right in there, penetrates that line, forces Edwards to go up early. It's not a good play, as you mentioned, Sean. That's a long way to leap. Robert Edwards would have been better advised to just keep his feet on the ground and pound it in there.
Bobo, play action, pass batted down. Darrell Owens, the reserve linebacker, playing because of the injuries suffered at linebacker today by Florida, made the big play, and now Jim Donnan with a big call on 4th and goal at the 1.
Jim Donnan tried to slip the fullback out of the backfield on a play-action pass. The Florida defense responds. The tight end is covered. It's really just excellent defense by Florida all the way across the board.
Timeout, Georgia. Jim Donnan ponders the big decision.
Be active, be cool, but beware. Use an ordinary stick antiperspirant, you get flaky white stuff. Until now. Gillette introduces Clear Stick. It's clear, so it can't leave a white residue. And it glides on smooth and dry for maximum strength stick protection. No stick protects you better against odor and wetness. So don't get the white stuff. Get the clear advantage. Gillette Clear Stick. Or try cool, refreshing clear gel.
Coach, you're the Georgia Bulldogs. You're Jim Donnan. You've lost 7 in a row in this rivalry. You have it on the 1-yard line. 4th down and goal. Any thought of a field goal?
I think there's always thoughts of a field goal because that's a conservative play. But Jim Donnan, he knows he's playing against Florida's offense. You want points. You want momentum, and you want your players to believe you believe.
Right.
That's the key.
I think that's the most important point.
They've got to believe that you believe, so you go for it.
4th and goal from the 1. They had 1st and goal from the 3. Couple of running plays got from the 1, then the incomplete pass. Callaway and Edwards the backfield. Edwards! Touchdown!
The Florida defense got knocked off the ball by the Georgia offensive line, and Robert Edwards goes up and over. It's a great leap by Edwards, number 47, who takes it into the end zone. The play failed 2 plays earlier, but this time successful.
Dax Langley takes over for Hap Hines, and Langley kicked the extra point. 2nd rushing touchdown of the game for Edwards, and on 4th down and goal from the 1, Georgia gets the TD. The gamble paid off for Jim Donnan and his Dogs in a big surprise lead by 11. Right now, they're in an 11-point hole. Mark Johnson kicks off for the Dogs. Squibs it downfield again. Picked up by Eugene McCaslin. And he's tackled at the 35-yard line. 12 yards on the return for McCaslin. Dustin Lucky made the tackle for Georgia. So 2 touchdowns for Edwards today.
When you kick off like that, Sean, you know, a lot of people question that because the other team gets pretty good field position. The ball's at the 35, but what you do generally in the gate is any big run back. And the Georgia philosophy today, don't give up the big play. Make Florida work for everything they get.
Doug Johnson throws downfield on 1st down. Nice catch. Ball a little bit behind Nafis Kareem, but the Georgia native made the reception for a pickup of 16 out to midfield. Kareem is from Marietta, Georgia, near Atlanta.
Great adjustment by Kareem on that ball. That ball was well thrown behind him. He did a very athletic move, spun around, caught it, and it was thrown like a shot out of Johnson's hand.
Johnson throws near side. Eugene McCaslin the catch. He puts his head down and pushes the play to the 42-yard line. Ronjus Grant and Ronald Bailey made the tackle. McCaslin's missed the last 2 games. He's been bothered by a left knee injury. Back in action today.
Florida's made a change in the offensive line. They've taken Zach Pillar, the starting left tackle for a few weeks ago, has a hamstring. They moved him to right tackle, try to shore up that line.
Fred Taylor is loose. And he's tackled by Glenn Ford. Florida working quickly, and they're down to the 31-yard line after a gain of 12. 2.5 minutes left in the half. Bulldogs lead by 11.
Eugene McCaslin makes a nice block on this particular play. Fred Taylor just runs the draw. The fullback leads him through, makes an excellent block on the linebacker. And Fred Taylor's a dangerous player in the open field. He's got great vision and cutting ability.
1st and 10. The pass caught. Jamie Richardson driven back from the 24, but they'll give him forward progress to that spot. Greg Bright made the hit on Richardson, who's had a couple of key drops here in the first half.
John, as a coach, you always talk to your team about how do you respond to adversity. Florida is coming back against the adversity right now.
Timeout, Florida. You know, Christopher Columbus is a little late in arriving here at Alltel Stadium, but perhaps he'll make it for the second half. The Budweiser Blim and its eye in the sky camera proud to provide you these live shots from 1,000 feet above Alltel Stadium. 2nd down and 3. Florida after its timeout. Johnson in trouble and thrown for a big loss. Back to the 35 by Marcus Stroud. First time Johnson's been sacked today.
It's the first time he's been sacked, Sean, but the Georgia defensive line has put a lot of heat on him, and Florida's going to go with a no-huddle offense here. But the line of Georgia has been able to put pressure on him that has disrupted him.
Brandon Miller made the first hit, but then it was Stroud who wrapped him up and took him down. 3rd down and 13. Johnson in trouble again. Johnson all the way back to the 50-yard line, running away from Stroud. Now he's going to try to run for the marker. He's short and out of bounds at the 25-yard line, chased out by Antonio Cochran. He's about 4 yards, nearly 5, shy of the first down. And it'll be 4th down and 4.5. Brandon Miller and Derek Bird put the pressure on Johnson. Nearly had another sack.
The Florida line's having trouble. Watch 74, Zach DeZalis. He's having a difficult time with the Georgia front on that particular play. Johnson does a great job fighting to get the ball back up to the line of scrimmage.
Florida's going for it. It'll be about a 43-yard field goal. 5 wide receivers on 4th and 5. Johnson over the middle, and it is incomplete. Jamie Richardson hit immediately by Greg Bright, and Richardson couldn't hold it. It would have been very close to a first down, and Georgia takes over on downs.
It's a great call by the Florida offense. They run a little underneath route, but the Georgia defense, he's going to run underneath and just try to get the first down. But the Georgia defense, Greg Bright, 45, comes up with one of those picture tackles, stops the player's momentum short of the first down. That's the way you play as a linebacker. It's Joe Hines. He's loving it as that defensive coordinator. George, he loves it. Look at him.
He loves this team. He told us last week it's the best group of players that he's been around in 33 years of coaching. Says they've had 1 bad practice the whole year. Jim Donnan doesn't want to make a mistake that Kentucky made against him last week when Kentucky got a little greedy at the first half. Georgia picked one off and ran it in for a touchdown. It changed the complexion of that game. They'll be very happy with an 11-point lead over the 6th-ranked Gators at halftime.
Well, and you're backed up. It's really a good move. A lot of times fans don't appreciate it or agree with it. But, hey, you're ahead. You were an underdog. You're like you say, you're 11 points. Things are going well. Don't make a mistake in this area of the field.
Bobo letting the clock run down. And they should not have to snap it again. They do not. Been a long time since the Bulldogs had a lead on the Gators at the break. 1988, the last time it happened. 1989, the last time they defeated